Hello folks, welcome to my channel Java Demystified by SSR. Here comes the question number 14. What is the purpose of toString method in Java? Let's demystify this question. So let me open my Sublime text where I have some skeletons written. Yeah, so I have a class test, and what will be there usually in a class? You have class members, right? So out of the class members, you have variables. Those are nothing but data members. And then we have method members, right? Methods, which are nothing but methods in the sense business method, constructors, etc. Okay, we have data members and method members. And then actually, in order to make this particular class as an executable, we will be having a main method. Okay, so that is known actually, right? So now here for methods, there can be two kinds of methods, right? So one are setter methods. The other kind is actually getter methods. What are setter and getter methods? Setter methods are the methods which actually set values to your object. Okay, so there can be n number of setter methods, or you will have one setter method to set all the data members of your class. Okay, so getter methods like display methods to display the information, or to get a particular data item, you require a getter method, right? So strictly speaking, a setter or a getter actually have to be written for each and every member. Okay, so that we actually do when we are writing beans, Java beans. But here my setter and my getter, which I would like to demonstrate here, will set all the data members of this particular class, and getter method will actually display all the members of this particular class. So in this context, a setter method can be eliminated with the help of a constructor. For example, you are writing a setter method like if you take a student class, you have a set student method to set the values of the student. What you can do is setting of those values, those data members of a student class can be done with a constructor itself. However, we require a constructor to create an object. So you can actually eliminate the setter method by writing the constructors. Okay, so that has been seen in previous questions actually. Now, how to eliminate a getter method? Can we eliminate a getter method also, like how we are eliminating setter method? So once again, I am repeating. See, we have a setter method just like a set student. Just like a set student. Okay, so let me go to this particular student class. I have a get student to get the values of roll number, name and college. These are my data members. And in the same fashion, I can have a set student method also to set these values. Of course, one value is static, so you need not to set that, and other two values like roll number and name has to be set. What we can do is we can actually eliminate that setter method with the help of a constructor. So that's what we are doing. Because whenever you create an object, constructor is required. So just write some constructor and set these values so that you don't require a setter method. Okay. So setter method can be eliminated or replaced with the help of a constructor so that you can actually manage the code efficiently. At least we can reduce one method, right? So can we do that with the getter methods also? If at all you want to eliminate getter methods, how you can eliminate? Okay, so there comes actually the use of the toString. So there comes the use of this toString method. So toString is combinedly we have to write. It is toString method, and this toString method is actually a method of a class called object class. It's a method available in object class. Okay, so I have a question on object class actually. So object class is considered to be super class of all Java classes. It is a super class of all Java classes. That means every class that we are writing is implicitly subclass of object class. And this object class has 11 methods. This has 11 methods. Out of the 11 methods, toString is one method. So what are other 10 methods? I will tell you in the next question. Okay, so toString actually is one of the methods of this object class. Okay, what is the return type of toString? toString actually returns a string type because it converts object to string type and returns string to string. Okay, so and this is a public method actually. So public string to string. So this is how it has been defined in the object class. Okay, so this is about toString. So now we have to understand what is the purpose of it. Okay, I think you might have got actually the answer. So to eliminate setter methods, we have a constructor, and to eliminate the getter method, you actually can use a toString method. And toString method is available in object class, and the return type of toString is a string. And what actually it will do, toString method will provide a string representation of the object, otherwise we can say object reference. Okay, in order to understand, we can actually say string representation of the object. Okay, so how we can make use of this toString method to eliminate this getter method in any class means you can actually eliminate a getter method with the help of toString by overriding this toString method. So what is overriding? Again, a new term has been introduced. Okay, so overriding happens only when you have inheritance. Overriding happens during inheritance. So again, new term has been introduced, inheritance. What is inheritance? So inheritance actually happens between classes and interfaces. A class can acquire the properties of other class. Some class B can acquire the properties of class A. So inheritance happens, and in inheritance we actually use a keyword called extends. B extends A means B is the child class and A is the parent class. Okay, so whenever inheritance is there, overriding will happen. So during overriding, what happens is we will redefine the implementation or behavior of a method. Redefine the implementation or behavior. Both behavior or implementation, both are same. So during overriding, what happens? We redefine the implementation of a method. That means, see, this particular toString method is available in object class, and it has a purpose. What it will do, it actually provide the string representation of the object or object reference, right? That is the major purpose. What I can do is, now I can redefine the behavior or the implementation of toString method. Okay, that means I will write something like this, string toString. Okay, so it has a predefined set of behavior which is available in the object class, but what I can do is I can have my own behavior written for this. So this is actually overriding. Okay, yeah. So now by overriding toString method, what we can do is we can actually eliminate the need of a getter method. You can eliminate the need of a getter method. Okay, this is the theory. To understand it properly, so let's now go to my student class. I have the class student. Yeah, so there is a roll number and there is name, and of course there is a static member, that is college, which was initialized to Harvard. And I don't have a setter method because setter method is eliminated with the help of a constructor, right? Public student, int roll number, string name. So my instance and local variables are same, so I have to use this dot roll number equal to roll number and this dot name equal to name, right? Yeah, if you don't understand this, then you can actually go back to my questions and you can find about this. And then here actually we are eliminating the setter method. Otherwise, this could be some void set student method, right? Yeah, this we understood. So we can eliminate a getter method by writing a constructor. And here, if you see, I have a getter method, get student. So get student method actually displays student members like roll number, name, and college. So roll number, name will be from object, and college actually will be from class. That is a static class area. Because it is static, it is available in static area. Roll number and name will be getting from heap area, right? So this is actually my getter method. So this is constructor is replacing the setter method, and now I have a getter method written here, right? So to get these values, so in the main method we are creating an object student s1 equal to new student. So this constructor was there. So during the creation of an object, however, you have to use a constructor. That's why we are making use of a constructor here and eliminating the setter method. That part is clear. So we are passing the roll number and name, and we are constructing the object. Then s1 dot get student, we actually get all the three members, roll number, name, and college. So you will be actually seeing the output like 100, XYZ, and Harvard. So that is known actually. Now what I'm doing here is in this program, so I'm actually adding one more statement, system.out.println, system.out.println s1, system.out.println s1. What happens when I actually print s1? What is s1? Is an object reference, right? So s1 is referring to student object. So s1 will be containing actually what? Hash code. S1 will be containing hash code, right? Yeah, so whenever you print s1, what actually happens? S1 dot toString. So this is implicitly going to happen. A toString method is going to get appended over here to the s1. So it will actually print string representation of, see, whenever you print s1, this is nothing but s1 dot toString. ToString is going to get appended for every object reference. So it will be printing string represented object reference. String represented object reference, that is nothing but hash code. Okay, so s1 actually contains a hash code, and hash code actually leads us to the object where it got stored. Now whenever you are printing s1, hash code has to get printed, but toString method will get appended, so you will get string represented hash code value. So let's see that actually. Let's see that. So let me go to my terminal. Yeah, you can actually see here Java C student.java compiled successfully, and Java student. Now you can actually see the outcome 100, XYZ, and Harvard. So these are the values we have passed, 100, XYZ, and Harvard was actually set to college. And now when we print S1, so what is getting printed? Student at 14AE5FI. So this is a string represented hash code value. So we also know how to print a hash code value, right? You know how to print a hash code value. We have a other method available in the object class, system.out.println s1 dot hash code. So this also we know. Command S, and then actually compile this and then run. So you will actually get the hash code value also. This is the hash code value, and this is a string representation of this particular hash code or string representation of the object. The object reference, that is student at 14AE5FI. Okay, it is saying that this object belongs to student, and this is the hash code value in the string form. So actual hash code value is 216.85.669. Okay, so this has been already been understood in previous videos actually. Okay, so now hash code is not my point of interest. ToString is my point of interest. Okay, so the point here is whenever any object reference is getting printed, ToString method is going to get appended, and it gives us the string representation of the object reference. Now what we do is we will make use of this ToString method, and we will eliminate this getter method. So how do we do that? So this we do with the help of overriding toString method. So what I'm doing is I'm actually removing this particular getter method, because I can eliminate the getter method with the help of a toString method. Okay, so now I'm writing like this: public a string toString. So this is the signature of toString method. It returns a string type and it's a public method. Okay, so here it returns a string, right? So now I am overriding this toString method. So if at all you want to clearly say you are overriding, you can actually make use of an annotation called override, @override. Otherwise it is optional. If at all you want to use, you can use it actually. So I will have a question prepared on this particular annotations. We will explain, we will understand that clearly over there. Okay, so now I am overriding this toString method. Okay, toString method actually gives me string represented hash code, but I am overriding it. So that means I am redefining its behavior, and I am redefining its behavior to print student values, So now what I am doing is just I am making like this: return. Okay, so what actually will get returned? So I want to return roll number plus, so roll number appended with roll number. I want to return roll number plus some space, then name plus some space, plus finally I have what, college. Okay, so this is what your getter method is doing, right? So now the same thing I am writing as a return statement to this toString, because toString returns string. So now I am making up a string actually. So roll number plus space will become a string, and this plus name will become a string, and this plus thing will become a string actually. Okay, so whenever plus operator acts on two arguments, at least one argument is string, then it is a string, right? So here roll number is integer, but my second operand is string, empty string, so it becomes a string actually. Okay, so this is how we have overridden. So this is overriding toString. Okay, so as per our requirements, I am overriding to that. What is my requirement? What is the getter method is doing? I just want to get the details or the values of roll number, name and college. So I'm making use of the toString methods. I'm overriding by returning roll number, name and college, right? So now I don't have any getter method. So I don't have any getter method. What I'm doing, I don't require this. I am removing that. Okay, so there is no setter method and there is no getter method. But what I'm doing here, system.out.println. So whenever I say system.out.println s1, what actually happens? s1.toString will come. So toString is called, right? s1.toString. So toString method is available here. Now it is not from the object class. It has been overridden. It has been overridden here. So now this bytecodes will get executed. While executing the bytecodes, what will get returned? Roll number, name and college, right? This is what happens actually. So let me save this, go back to my terminal, clear java c student.java, compiled successfully, and when I run java space student, see the outcome actually 100 xyz Harvard. If you see the difference, earlier when I am printing system.out.println s1, I am getting a string represented hash code. But when I am printing system.out.println s1 now, that s1.toString, so toString method has got overridden, and in the overridden I have redefined its behavior, saying whenever toString is called, you just print roll number, name and college after concatenation. That means I am saying print roll number, concatenate with the space, then concatenate with the name, concatenate with space, then college. The same thing actually is happening. Okay, so this is how we can actually make use of toString method to eliminate the getter method. So now in Java, what can be done is setter method can be eliminated with the help of a constructor, and getter method can be eliminated with the help of a overriding toString method. So that is the purpose of the toString method. So this code actually looks elegant, efficient, and intelligent also, right? So this is the purpose of a toString method. So whenever you write your Java programs, you better make use of toString method to override, and you print object references directly, which actually give you the details of your object members. Hope you have understood this question clearly. If you understood properly, please like videos, share to your friends and colleagues, and also subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.